Every hour, 5 people walk into an Ohio Sheriff's Office to either apply for a concealed carry permit or to renew one.
But what is actually catching the attention of instructors right now is how many of those applicants are women. Holly Samuels takes you into the world of girls and guns, and she asks, why are so many women arming themselves?
About a year and a half ago, my husband was a victim of violence. It was a road rage incident that got extremely out of control. Before my husband could get out of the car, get his seatbelt off, he was attacked. I think the outcome would have been very different had we had a concealed carry permit.
Marquita Turner of Trenton has now been able to carry a concealed weapon for more than a year. She armed herself because of the attack on her husband.
It was traumatic because when you live your life every day, a normal, law-abiding citizen, you hear that happens to other people, but not so much, you don't think of it happening to you.
Nice. Very nice.
Turner is one of many women now applying for a permit to carry a concealed weapon. In Montgomery County in 2010, 422 of the 2,290 applicants for a CCW license were women. Compare that to 459 of 2,029 in 2011. That's a more than 4% increase in just 1 year. And while numbers are not available yet for the first few months of 2012, instructor Dan Colvin with Dayton CCW says the increase in women in his classes so far this year is staggering. He estimates the percentage has jumped from 20% to 35%.
We get people, new mothers, we get grandmothers, and everybody in between.
I'm a student. I am graduating, actually just next weekend is the graduation ceremony. I don't look like I'm a person who would carry a gun at all.
Hillary Robinette, who stands just over 5 feet tall, decided a firearm would give her a fighting chance against a criminal.
I had just gotten back from Spain, and while I was there, it was just kind of, I felt insecure. I just wanted to have the security of, carrying something that could defend me against anybody who is trying to do me harm.
And Marquita Turner, she's a mom to 2 teenagers and a nurse who works at an area hospital.
I work in an emergency department, so I do see many times the after effects of violence.
A lot of people have this perception of who comes and gets their CCW, or who comes to the range and fires their gun, or who would be a gun owner. Those perceptions are being torn down because it's everyday citizens that you probably sit next to on the bus, or that you sit next to at work, or you sit next to at the restaurant.
The question is, why are so many women all of a sudden choosing to add a firearm to their purses?
I think it's becoming culturally acceptable, and people are talking about it. People are more aware of it. It is kind of seen as something that is okay for women to do now.
I feel like many women are in my position. They are independent, they travel a lot, they work a lot, and they see the crime that goes on, and they don't want anything like that to ever happen to them.
Gun rights might be a key issue in the presidential campaign, but state lawmakers have already tackled it. In Ohio, it's now legal for someone with a concealed carry permit to carry a gun into bars, restaurants, and a handful of other places, as long as the holder does not drink alcohol. It's also legal for people convicted of certain misdemeanors to apply for a permit. Now still sitting in the State House are House Bill 263, which would require background checks at gun shows, and House Bill 256, which would allow people to carry a concealed firearm without a permit.
That's the big bang switch.
In order to qualify for a permit, you must complete 10 hours of classroom time and 2 hours of live fire exercise. There's a written test and a background check. The local sheriff's office issues all CCWs, and the paperwork is forwarded to the state attorney general's office. The license is good for 5 years, and the renewal process includes a new set of fingerprints and a new background check. But the state does not require updated training. That is left up to the license holder.
It's not, hey, spend 12 hours in a class, go get your license, and then start carrying a gun around. That's not the objective. The objective is to give you enough training that you qualify to get your CCW and the ability to go train.
While they don't always carry their guns and mostly rely on pepper spray, most of these women say they have and plan to continue training. And they say they feel comfortable and safe handling their firearms.
Yes, I do believe I can handle a gun safely now.
Now you'll spend about $100 to $200 for the class. The fees for the license vary. However, the Attorney General warns students they need to make sure their instructor is certified if they're taking a class.
This is a big business in our state. Are there any signs the gun makers themselves have picked up on this growing trend?
They absolutely have. They are, making things geared toward women. We've done stories on pink and purple weapons before, but the manufacturers are going beyond that now. They're making guns with shorter stocks. They're changing the trigger pulls, all in an effort to make the weapon fit more comfortably in a smaller hand. And the experts I spoke with say it's really important. You want to have your weapon fitted to you. And the message from instructors here is that getting your permit, very serious business. If, the law, as I said, does not require you to continue your training, which some say is a major flaw of the laws that we have now, but you need to be willing to commit to that continued education.
Now, I heard some of the women say that they felt safe with this class, but I'm curious, do you think they could really pull the trigger when it comes down to it? What were they saying about that?
That is a big decision that you need to make, and all of the instructors are very clear about that. Before you decide you want to get your CCW permit, you have to be able to realize that at some point you might have to shoot that gun, you might have to take someone's life. If you're not okay with that, there are other options. As I said, there's pepper spray, there are tasers out there, or you can always do the good old-fashioned self-defense classes. It depends on what you feel safe with.
All right, girls and guns.
Girls and
Holly,
guns.
thank you.